Namaskar, I am Ashok Kumar Gupta, Training Associate Chemistry at ZIT Bhubaneswar. Once again, before you, I am here with the second video of Chemistry Class 12 Unit 1 Solid State. In the previous video, we discussed about the general characteristic properties of solids. We also discussed about the crystalline and amorphous solids and the differences between them. If you have not watched that video, you can watch the video. The link is given in the description box. Learning objective of this video is that after watching this video, you will be able to list the types of crystalline solids on the basis of the intermolecular forces operating in them. You will be able to describe the physical properties of the solid on the basis of the nature of the intermolecular forces operating in them. You will be able to compare two different crystalline solids with respect to their physical properties like melting point, boiling point, electrical and thermal conductivity. Attention please, dear learners, for your academic benefits, by watching this video, you are advised to make the following worksheet in your notebook. Please put your textbook aside for the time being. You will be advised to consult your textbook from time to time. For maximum benefit from this video, you can download it and play, pause as per the instruction or as per your academic need. So this is worksheet number 1. It is based on the classification of crystalline solids on the basis of nature of intermolecular forces. Please draw this diagram and fill in the boxes and circles as you proceed watching the video. Worksheet number 2. Here, this table, blank table, you make it in your notebook, and with the progress of the video, fill up the spaces. The worksheet number 3 is about the properties of the ionic solids, the constituent particles, attractive forces, example, physical nature, electrical conductivity and melting point of ionic solids. Worksheet number 4 is for the properties of metallic. Worksheet number 5 is about the properties of covalent or network solids. Again, same parameters, constituent particles, attractive forces, example, physical nature, electrical conductivity and melting point. Classification of crystalline solids. Crystalline solids can be classified into 4 categories depending upon the type of constituent particles and the nature of attractive forces operating between them. They are: number 1, molecular solid; number 2, ionic solid; number 3, covalent or network solid; and number 4, metallic solid. Molecular solid. In molecular solids, the constituent particles are molecules. Depending upon the nature of molecules, these solids are further classified into 3 types: non-polar molecular solids, polar molecular solids, and hydrogen bonded molecular solids. In non-polar molecular solids, the constituent particles are either atoms like noble gases such as helium, neon, argon, etc., or non-polar molecules like hydrogen, chlorine, iodine, methane, etc. Generally, they are liquid or gases at room temperature and exist as solid at supercooled temperature. In these solids, the electron cloud is symmetrically distributed and the molecules do not have any polarity. Sometimes these atoms and non-polar molecules lose their symmetry and electron cloud distribution for a short time and produce instantaneous dipole. These dipoles distorts the electron cloud of the neighboring atom or non-polar molecule, inducing dipole moment in them. The electrostatic force of attraction between these instantaneous dipole-induced dipole are called dispersion forces or London forces. Due to the presence of weak forces, these solids have low melting and boiling point. Polar molecular solids. In polar molecular solids, the constituent particles are polar molecules like HCl, SO2, etc. The molecules of these solids are held together by dipole-dipole forces of attraction. Due to the presence of dipole-dipole interaction, these solids are soft and their melting and boiling points are comparatively higher than those of non-polar solids. But still, as these solids do not have very high melting and boiling points, they exist as gases or liquids at room temperature under ordinary pressure. Hydrogen bonded molecular solids. In hydrogen bonded molecular solids, the constituent particles are such molecules which contain hydrogen atom linked to highly electronegative atom such as fluorine, oxygen or nitrogen of neighboring molecules. This link between the hydrogen atom and highly electronegative atom of the neighboring molecule is known as hydrogen bond, and the hydrogen bond is represented as dotted line. Due to the presence of strong hydrogen bonds, these solids have higher boiling and melting points when compared to non-polar and polar solids. These solids are poor conductor of electricity and they exist as volatile liquids or soft solids at room temperature and pressure. Metallic solids. In metallic solids, the constituent particles are metal ions and free electrons. Metals have a tendency to lose electrons and become positively charged ions. These group of positively charged metal ions are called as kernels, and the electrons can easily flow throughout the crystals like water in the sea. These mobile electrons are attracted by the positively charged ions and holds the ions together. The attractive force that holds the kernel and the mobile electrons in the metallic solid is called metallic bond. Due to the presence of strong metallic bonds, the metallic solids have high melting points and boiling points. The free electrons in these solids are responsible for high electrical and thermal conductivities of metals. In fact, the color of certain metals is due to the presence of these free electrons. Some of the examples of metallic solids are copper, iron, aluminum, silver, etc. Ionic solids. In ionic solids, ions are the constituent particles. In these solids, there is three-dimensional arrangement of cations and anions. They are held together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. As a result, these ions are not free to move and are closely packed, and hence these are hard and brittle solids. Ionic solids possess high melting and boiling points. Being ionic in nature, these solids are soluble in polar solvent like water, but insoluble in non-polar solvents like ether. Ionic solids act as insulator in solid state, but in aqueous solutions or in molten state, they act as very good conductor of electricity. Here, the question is, why are ionic solids very good conductor in molten state, not in the solid state? In ionic solids, the electrical conductivity is due to the movement of ions. However, in the solid state, the ions are at fixed position and they are not free to move. However, in molten state or aqueous state, the individual ions are free to move, and when potential difference is applied, these ions act as a charge carriers and become good conductor of electricity. Some examples of ionic solids are sodium chloride, zinc sulfide, magnesium oxide, cesium chloride, etc. Covalent solids. These are crystalline solids in which the constituent particles are non-metal atoms linked to adjacent atoms by covalent bonds throughout the crystal structure. As a result, the network of covalent bonds are formed. These covalent bonds are strong and directional in nature. Due to large network of covalent bonds, these solids are also known as network solids. These solids are very hard and brittle and have extremely high melting and boiling points. These covalent solids, due to the absence of free ions, act as bad conductor of heat and electricity. One of the most common example of covalent or network solid is diamond, where each carbon atom is linked together by 4 covalent bonds to give a 3-dimensional structure. There is one exception where properties are quite different from other covalent solids. The exception is graphite. Though it is a covalent solid, unlike other covalent solids, it is soft and good conductor of electricity. This exceptional behavior of graphite is due to its typical layer structure. In graphite, carbon atoms are arranged in different layers. We know that carbon is tetrahedral in nature and has 4 valence electrons in each layer. One carbon atom is bonded to 3 other neighboring atoms within the same layer. The unbonded 4th valence electron of each carbon atom remains unbounded and is present between the layers. This 4th valence electron is free to move within the structure. When potential difference is applied, these free electrons act as charge carriers and makes graphite a good conductor of electricity. The force of attraction between each layer of graphite is very weak. Due to this, different layers can easily slide over one another. This makes graphite soft and good solid lubricant. Best example of covalent solids are diamond, silicon carbide, silica, etc. Now let us recapitulate. What did we study as classification of crystalline solids? We get how many types of solids? Molecular solid, ionic solid, metallic solid and covalent solids. The recapitulation of properties of molecular solids. You can now tally the table you have already prepared with this table, right? The words and the sentences you might have written in the worksheet will be same as we are discussing here. Constituent particles are the molecules in all the 3 types of the molecular crystals. The attractive forces are London dispersion forces in case of non-polar, and in case of polar molecular solids, the attractive force is dipole-dipole interaction. In case of hydrogen bonded molecular solid, the attractive force is hydrogen bonding. Example of non-polar molecular solids are argon, carbon tetrachloride, hydrogen iodine, and CO2. These are very soft, they are insulator and they have low melting point. Polar molecular solids have constituent particles as molecules, and the attractive forces in polar molecular solid is dipole-dipole interaction. Examples HCl, SO2, they are soft, they are insulator and they have low melting point. Properties of hydrogen bonded molecular solids. The constituent particles are molecule. The attractive force is hydrogen bonding. Example, the best example is H2O ice. They are hard, they are insulator and have low melting point. Now, properties of ionic solids. Constituent particles are ions. The attractive forces are Coulombic or electrostatic force of attraction. Example: sodium chloride, magnesium oxide, zinc sulfide, calcium fluoride. Physical nature: they are hard and brittle, and electrical conductivity: they are insulator in solid state but conductors in molten state and in aqueous solutions. Melting point is very high. Properties of metallic solids: the constituent particles are the positive ions in a sea of delocalized electrons. Attractive forces are metallic bonding. Example: metals like iron, copper, silver, magnesium, etc. They are hard but malleable and ductile. They are conductors in solid state as well as in molten state, and their melting point is fairly high. Properties of covalent or network solids: the constituent particles are atom. The attractive forces is the covalent bonding. Example: quartz, silicon oxide, silicon carbide, diamond, aluminum nitride, graphite. They are hard to soft and insulator to conductor. Their melting points very high. This is the network structure of diamond, and this is structure of graphite. See, in graphite the carbon atoms are sp2 haptides. There is one electron which is not bonded, and this electron is in between the hexagonal sheet, the layers of the graphite. These are the layers of the graphite. In between layers there are electron, and these electrons are responsible for the electrical conductivity of graphite. And because there is no very strong bond between the two sheets, therefore one layer of this carbon can easily move over the other layer, and that is why it acts as solid lubricant. Now let us discuss the in-text questions. Classify the following solids into categories based on the nature of intermolecular forces operating in them. Potassium sulfate. What type of solid is this? This is ionic solid. Tin. This is metallic. Benzene. This is molecular solid. Urea, molecular solid. Ammonia, hydrogen bonded solid. Water, hydrogen bonded. Zinc sulfide, ionic. Graphite, network, covalent. Rubidium, metallic solid. Argon, non-polar, molecular solid. Silicon carbide, covalent solid. So these are the answers. Solid A is very hard, electrical insulator in solid as well as in molten state. So A is hard insulator in molten and solid state and melts at extremely high temperature. So what type of solid is? It is covalent solid. Covalent solids have very high melting point, melts at extremely high temperature. Covalent solids melt at extremely high temperature, right? So this is covalent solid. Ionic solids conduct electricity in molten state but not in solid state. Explain why. Because in ionic solids the cations and the anions are free. Cations and anions are free to move. Therefore they conduct electricity in molten state. What type of solids are electrical conductors? Malleable and ductile. Yes, metallic solids. Metallic solids. These are the questions for homework. These questions are given in an NCERT book. What makes a glass different from solids such as quartz? Under what condition quartz be converted to glass? See, glass on heating it melts and becomes liquid, and this liquid on slow cooling becomes quartz. On slow cooling becomes quartz, right? Quartz is crystalline and glass is amorphous. Quartz, this is crystalline. Quartz is crystalline, right? Heat, it melts, and this is fast cooling. If it is cooled fast cooling of quartz becomes glass. This is amorphous. Glass is amorphous, right? So this is how quartz can be converted into glass. Thanks for your interest in learning and watching the video. Kindly feel free to contact for any more clarification. My mobile number is 9038396543 and mail ID is ashokgupta62@gmail.com. Thank you very much.